Have you ever handed a teacher your assignment and realized 5 seconds later that you just made a huge mistake in that paper? Or have you ever left an exam thinking you did great and you go outside and you hear your friends talk about something that you missed or didn't even think was part of the answer? Well, let me tell you, it's not a good feeling. I don't know if the developers over at DICE have ever felt that way, but with this last content update for Battlefield, it leads me to believe that they haven't. Just like a schoolboy lying when asked if he checked his work before handing it in, I'm inclined to believe at this point that the Battlefield 5 developers simply don't play their own game. They certainly haven't played this last patch because it is impossible not to notice the lowercase m flashing near the middle of the screen every so often. Maybe they played it and simply don't care anymore, but as has been the case with every single update so far, this is yet another patch that manages to introduce yet another bug into this buggy game. What a way to go out in style, guys. I logged in yesterday to play roughly 2 hours of the new maps, and in that time I managed to see the lowercase m once every minute or so, or maybe even more, and I also had my aim downsights not work until I switched weapons, because it seems like having basic stuff work just isn't part of the Battlefield franchise anymore. But enough about that, let's talk about the new maps. There's two of them, Provence and Marj Encampment, or Marj or whatever. To be honest, I enjoyed both maps. Marj has a really cool layout of densely packed buildings that make infantry fights intense, but there are also major streets that provide wide avenues of attack. It's a really good infantry map. Provence is a beautiful map that had been released before. This is a new, more interesting layout that is available for 64 players, with some flags being really open while others are set inside the small part of the town. This map features tanks, which are extremely fun to use and really effective in a map like this. But unfortunately, there are no planes in either map, which means out of the 20 maps that the game now has, only half of them provide the full Battlefield experience. The rest are either infantry and tanks or infantry plus airplanes. With basically every single other Battlefield game having between 30 to 40 maps, this is a very sad state of affairs. These 20 maps, most of them infantry focused, are all that we'll get to experience of this game. I've said previously that Battlefield 5 is both the best and the worst Battlefield game. It's a World War II game, which, is something a lot of the fans of the original Battlefield 1942 wanted, myself included, but unfortunately, what we got was a strange and conflicted experience. It's a game marred with development problems, with bugs, and with lack of content. It's a confusion that wanted to try a more hardcore and team play focused approach while also having optical sights for every weapon. Soldier customization that hardly features any actual uniforms, and instead they try and sell us stuff like this. So yeah, this is a World War II game that has female soldiers but lacks the Soviet Union, which was the only country that really deployed large numbers of female soldiers in battle. It's a World War II game without a D-Day map. So even though this is the last content update for Battlefield, and though it introduces new weapons, maps, and a bunch of other fixes, it doesn't feel like a fitting end for a game that could have been much more. Now, I understand the reasons behind ending support for this game. I just wish the similar logic had been spent during the game's development or live service to give the players the game that they deserve. It's safe to say that they will keep updating the game to fix bugs and stuff like that, starting by getting rid of the M, which I still can't believe really made it into this patch. And I will keep hopping in and playing it every now and then, because I do think that it's a fairly entertaining game, especially when you're playing with friends. Hell, I have like 500 hours played. Most of them, they were played within the first year of the game's launch. However, now most of my friends have moved on, and they started playing other games, and I'm getting more and more into Hell Let Loose, which is a entirely different experience, but it works great as a substitute for this. So there you go. This last update, 2 new maps. They're both good at what they are. They aren't Battlefield maps, if you ask me. Like, I wanted more Battlefield, full Battlefield airplanes, tanks, ships, and stuff like that, and infantry, and everything going on at the same time. That, to me, is like core Battlefield. This Battlefield 5 is mostly infantry focused, and that's not to say that is bad, but that, to me, is not Battlefield. Some of the maps that I'm even counting as having, you know, all 3 things, like Narvik, for example, don't really have a lot of tanks. You maybe see 1 tank at a time. That's it. And even Devastation. Devastation has infantry and tanks. It has 2 tanks per team. Mostly they are both dead, or you see 1 at a time or stuff like that. And again, it's an infantry map. So yeah, a lot of missed opportunities in this game. It's really a shame. So okay, let me know what you think about the new maps down in the comments. And if you like the video, please check out the other videos on the channel and subscribe if you enjoy them. Thanks for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one.